Cop tases 81-year-old. Ortiz can't get off the drugs. And Ray Lewis must be Mexican. Because he sure can coon.
It's a young samurai, I smoke a spliff in the cup, and I pass a lot to my bro. No fuck with my flow. Couple bad bitches and a cup of that tro. So it's just THC.
The thing that happened in Las Vegas is a tragedy. It's not anything to be looked at lightly. It's nothing to be made a joke of. A lot of people lost their lives and a lot of other people were injured. But sometimes we got to look at the root cause of things. That's a big problem in my community, the black community. People look at crimes being committed, but we're not paying attention to why they're being permitted, or why they're allowed. A lot of the problems that resonate in our community has to do with the fact that there's just, unemployment. There's just a lot of mental health issues. But this particular situation that happened in Las Vegas, you got to look and say, why do things like this happen? We already know it's the first thing that's going to be blamed. It's going to be gun control. This is going to be the first thing that's going to be blamed. But maybe the way that it's being reported has something to do with it also. Maybe if, when we had domestic terrorism that took place like this is, obviously, maybe if it was labeled by the news organizations as directed domestic terrorism, maybe if it was written down in the history books like domestic terrorism, like the Timothy McVeigh situation, like the Dylan Roof situation, if these situations weren't written down as domestic terrorism, but we need for them to be down as domestic terrorism, because quite frankly, until a Caucasian person can be held accountable for his domestic terrorism, how are we going to prevent the other whacked out Caucasians, Americans, to decide to not do these things? When I was growing up, I never was into drugs. I was a little kid, but one of the main things you didn't want to be was a crackhead. Like nowadays, I can't even understand how there's new crackheads. Like all crackheads should be like in their 50s, in their 40s, in their 50s. There should be no crackheads that's in their 20s. It just shouldn't even exist. Because when we were growing up, or at least when I was growing up, the worst thing you could call somebody's mother was a crackhead. Calling her a crackhead was essentially calling her a whore for pay. Well, whores are for pay, but a whore. And on top of that, a drug addict. Nobody wanted their parents to be called crackheads. Nobody wanted to be called a crackhead. Maybe if they took some of this philosophy as far as correctly labeling these terroristic acts, maybe it would convince some people to not commit them. This was an act of terrorism. The man took his own life, is what I hear, is what's being reported. So he cannot be held accountable for his actions, at least not on this world. But to deter the next individual that might decide to do such a thing, maybe he should be going down in history books as a domestic terrorist. Because one, that's what he is. And two, we have to stop sidestepping domestic terrorism committed by Caucasian Americans. It's going to come out that he has some kind of mental disorder and he wasn't in control of his mental faculties and blah, blah, blah. And this was just a 1 in a million type thing and it'll probably never happen again. We don't know. Because, blacks are the violent people. And, the blacks can't be controlled. But I don't ever remember hearing about a black going to shooting up a black person going to shooting up a concert, killing 50 plus people and injuring 200, 500 plus more. And I'm not trying to make this about race or color. But when you don't label this domestic terrorism, you make it about race or color. Maybe both. "81-year-old mother makes cop crap his pants, so he tases her." I don't know what kind of America that we living in, y'all, but this is not the type of America that I think the Constitution is speaking about. So for everybody that's upset that these football players and other athletes want minorities to stop getting the treatment that this little old lady apparently got, y'all guys need to change your priorities. That's the problem. I need to change your priorities. Cops are tasering 81-year-old grandmoms. Quick synopsis: the cops show up at the lady's house. She lives alone. She's kind of like a, I kind of got like a misery feel. They smell like animal excrement from the outside of the place. The son lives next door. The son asks the cops to put her in jail because she's acting crazy. She's outside beating on cars with brooms. I'm thinking that maybe he just asked them to, do something with her before she hurt herself or hurt somebody else. So maybe get her looked at by a hospital or a psychiatrist or something. I don't know. Anyway, so the cops go to get her. She comes at the cops with like a rake or some kind of lawn tool. And the cop is completely overwhelmed by this 81-year-old grandmom and decides to taser her. You can't write this, man. This is just insanity. This is insanity. Deontay Wilder's latest opponent has decided that they were not going to come into the ring 100%. They decided they were going to come into the ring 200%. And by doing that, they decided to take PEDs. Deontay Wilder doesn't care. He's like, yo, let's go. He's ready to fight anyway. Look, there comes a point where you just tired of people doing craziness. And you like, look, man, I'm going to beat him while he's cheating. And then after I beat him while he's cheating, everybody can stop talking smack. Because I do recall a lot of people keep talking about how Deontay Wilder's scared of people. That's funny, right? You want to know why that's funny? Because I used to always hear how Floyd Mayweather was scared of people. I used to always hear how, currently how Deontay Wilder's scared of people. And I used to always, it just seems like whenever you're a colored fighter, a black fighter, I'm not even going to say colored at this point, but whenever you're a black fighter, it's like I'm just going to give you a quick breakdown. Fights usually happen like this. You have a big fight. You probably have a warm-up fight, and then you probably have another warm-up, a warm-up fight. Then you fight another big fight. You don't fight big fight after big fight after big fight after big fight after big fight because that wears down your career. But it seems like with all black fighters, they just want them to fight the hardest competition against the hardest competition against the hardest competition, and it's never because the management don't want them to fight these guys. It's always because the actual fighter is scared. I'm going to say this one more time. If you get into a ring for a living and fight people, individuals need to stop calling you scared before you fight the guy once. Now, if you fight the guy one time and then you're like, oh man, that dude got his ass whooped, he might be scared. That's a possibility. But other than that, these dudes is not scared of the other dude. They ready to go. They do this for a living. I am absolutely under the impression that Ray Lewis cannot help himself. And he takes every opportunity that he can to show to his masses that he is a good coon. Because at this point, some of the stuff he's doing is so unnecessary. Now look, there would have been nothing wrong with him just simply saying, I wanted to have solidarity for the rest of the players in the league after what Trump said. I'm still not, backing what Colin Kaepernick was backing, although he should be. But he could have just said, I'm having solidarity with the other players in the league. We were attacked by an outside force. and now we're in defense mode. We need to shore our defenses up. There would have been nothing wrong with him saying that. But he's trying so hard to distance himself from Colin Kaepernick that he decided that he couldn't even just be straightforward and make a statement like that. Because, his bosses told him that he had to go down there and do something and he had to, just himself had to, just in general. But he couldn't even do that. He couldn't miss an opportunity to coon. Anyway, I'm gonna have a link in the description for the video of him cooning. So y'all look down below. I'm gonna have a link in the description for everything that you're seeing in this particular show. So link is gonna be in the description for everything. I want y'all to also leave comments on anything that you're interested in, and any stories that you would like for me to follow up. Also leave comments on those. Also, my personal email is in the description, and if there's anything that you might want our channel to look at, send me some, information on it, and I'll do a little bit more investigation, and we can see what we can do about making some videos that y'all guys like. So comment, like, subscribe, join the notification gang, #Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all guys. Keep each other safe. That's all I got on these. I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.